me up. The summer's hot.
Turn it up.
We turn it up.
This summer.
The hits are even hotter.
It's what I listen to all day.
Mix 24/7 EDM.
How are you doing, Mix 24/7 Nation? This is Alex Geis, and today I'm joined over the phone by J'adore, and I'm excited to talk about all the projects she has in the work. J'adore, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, J'adore, I want to learn more about how did you get involved in EDM and this specific genre of music?
Yeah, so it's been a long journey. I guess like a lot of DJs, a lot of producers, I always had a drive to DJ. I always had an intrigue in it, I guess. Growing up when I was young, something that I always wanted to learn how to do, and it wasn't into my 20s that I actually started to learn how to. And became fascinated with it. I knew it was something I absolutely wanted to pursue. And always myself having a background in loving house music, loving EDM, I gravitated naturally towards the sound styles that I personally loved for sure. So it kind of just fell into place, I guess. My husband is a DJ. My husband is the owner of the Global DJ Academy, which is in Denver. And so he's the one that taught me how to DJ. Yes,
I was actually going to ask you. You're listed as the co-owner of the Global DJ Academy.
Yeah.
And, would you like to talk more about that? What exactly the goal of the Academy is and your role with it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool. So the DJ Academy is all about obviously teaching people how to DJ, but at the same time really about breaking the stereotypes. There's, a lot of stereotype in the industry that, that DJs don't want to teach other DJs or, don't share their crafts. And we are all about showing that stereotype really isn't true and then absolutely making it available to people in a way that's really attainable, really reachable, really not intimidating to learn, to create a community around the Global DJ Academy that is really supportive. And, our hope is really just to pass on this art to as many people as possible.
That's cool, creating a community and not trying to be selfish with DJ tips and tricks and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely fun. It's neat to see all walks of life come into it and start to learn. So my husband actually has a program called School of Beats where he goes around to schools and teaches teachers how to teach their students to DJ.
Oh, wow.
So he's teaching, really cool, teaching young kids how to DJ. He's teaching, somebody who's older who's always wanted to learn, and then also, of course, advanced techniques and production practices that they're really working with people who are professionals in the industry as well.
That's great to hear. And his DJ name is Walt White, correct?
It is, yes.
Yeah, so your husband is DJ Walt White, but that sounds great. That program sounds really progressive.
It's really fun, for sure.
Yeah, so since you're teaching this DJ Academy in sort of this approachable sense, what is your approach to DJing? What do you kind of think of as you're going into crafting a set?
Into crafting a set, I guess it really depends on what the set is. So you saw me perform at Skylab on Saturday night in Denver, and
right.
That was actually a really different set than I get to perform a lot. Than I do perform a lot.
Yes, because we perform things like yoga sessions and Red Rocks and Denver Fashion Week. So you've done a very diverse set of sets.
Yeah, I'm pretty diverse in what I do. I'd say mainly when I perform on stage, I focus on deep and tech house music, and I do a lot of DJing for yoga, huge yoga events as well. And then I do play big room sets as well. So I kind of more have a sound style that I gravitate towards, I would say, and then that carries through whatever genre I'm performing in. But so it depends. For the set, it's all about really reading the crowd. That's, such an important part of it. Going in with one specific playlist really doesn't necessarily work because the crowd might not be digging it. So I do tend for a bigger show to make a playlist and make a set of music that I think will work and, that I think I want to really showcase. And I also have music ready just to be able to, go off from that and totally change my mind.
Yeah, it's always good to be flexible. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So on your website it says you're drawn to futuristic and unexpected, dark and atmospheric genres and more musical styles. So what are your musical influence for that? How did you develop that sort of taste?
It's always been what I've gravitated towards. I guess I don't even know where that traces back to in terms of my influences. It's always with any sort of electronic music. What I have absolutely gravitated towards is darker beats and sounds, darker drops for sure. So that's really where I would say my sound style comes from, that, whatever the genre is, whether I'm playing a yoga class or I am playing, you saw me play on the bass stage on Saturday night at Skylab, or I'm playing a tech house set, I tend to really go for more of a dark kind of feel in my track selection.
So do you think that kind of developed from more of your personality and your musical tastes, or as a woman in a historically male-dominated industry, was it kind of a reaction to show break out of the non-aggressive feminine stereotype, kind of challenge that?
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's actually both. It definitely wasn't anything purposely to break out of that stereotype, but I think it really does. I mean, I'm like 5'2" blonde DJ, so I think that to see me performing that kind of music, it absolutely isn't what you would expect. But it wasn't purposeful. It's definitely the music that I love, and I think that absolutely just came from the sounds that I naturally gravitate towards, and my personal love for it. I've been in situations as a DJ where you need to play music that maybe isn't your style, and of course you need to follow a certain format in a gig that you might be in before you really curate yourself as an artist, and it's not fun. It's absolutely not fun to to have to play something that you don't vibe with. So I think that definitely that's intentional for me to play that sound.
Oh yeah, very cool, very cool. So I briefly mentioned you're a woman in a historically male-dominated field, and you said you're a 5'2" blonde DJ. So you do kind of contrast with your heavy beats, but also being a woman in the industry, I think you have a very unique perspective, and you can represent maybe an underrepresented group in the industry. So what do you think the industry? Do you think the industry is doing a good job of incorporating more women into it, or being inclusive on that front?
It's been something that I've gone up and down with in terms of my personal feelings on. Being a woman, I've definitely experienced the stereotype that you might imagine. I've absolutely had guys walk up to me as I'm DJing and say, what a girl can DJ. I've had guys come and stare at me and make sure that I don't have sync on, or am I really DJing? Am I DJing on a toy controller? I've been through that. I've been through the name calling, all of that. And so there's absolutely part of me that's driven by proving that wrong. I personally set out to learn any piece of equipment that I could possibly be encountering in a DJ booth, so that I don't have that stereotype placed on me that I can't spin on vinyl, or I can't beat match, or whatever the situation might be that I'm being told I cannot do. And in terms of the industry, there's a piece of it that every single DJ needs tools in their toolbox. You need to be you need to have your own unique style. You need to technically be really great at what you do and have something that maybe sets you apart from other people. You need to have marketing that's on point. Being a female is actually one of those things, as being a male is, as being any type of person that's a little bit different than the norm, I guess I would say. So in some ways, I do think that it's useful to have something different that sets you apart, but at the same time, there are a lot of disadvantages for women in the music industry in general, and in particular in the electronic music industry. And I do think that it's getting better. I think that there are a lot of incredible women groups that are coming up and joining together, joining forces to really make sure that their voices are heard and that fairness is happening. I think that there are a lot of males in the industry as well that are absolutely supporting that and are vocal about it as well. And for just as much as that, there's still it's the reality that females are not booked as much. And, there are a ton of us out there. So I still don't think that it's even. It's an even playing field, but I think that, hopefully it's getting better and better, and it can still get better.
Yeah, we hope it does. And you mentioned that you had to essentially work much harder to just initially prove yourself. And do you think this kind of barrier of entry for women makes them less hesitant to join the industry? And are there any steps we can take right now to kind of solve that problem, or is it more of a gradual attitude change that will just kind of happen over time?
I think that definitely it would make women hesitant to join it. I think I have the type of personality where it almost drove me more to do it, but I think for a lot of people it would be something that you wouldn't want to encounter what you might facing that. So absolutely, I think that it will deter women. With that being said, there are a lot of groups of women out there who are really encouraging younger women to learn the art of DJing, to learn production. So there's more and more coming up that makes it available and just encourages women more, but I think that there can be a lot more that's done. That's one of the things through the DJ Academy that, we really want to make available to women too, is that it's a place where it's an equal opportunity for sure, and women are absolutely encouraged to come and learn.
Absolutely. That's great. So we'll move on to your music now. So you have a SoundCloud page that was very active about 11 to 8 months ago, but you've been kind of silent since then. So I know you have a lot of music stored up. Would you like to talk about any of these future releases?
Yeah, I have been silent for a while. I've been really trying to find what my sound is. Like I talked about how I feel like I have a sound style. I've been really playing with bringing that to the table and, figuring out how to get that out of me in terms of my music. I would say the biggest thing that I encounter as an artist is that I do have a love for a lot of different genres of music. And it's easy as an artist to feel like you need to choose one genre and you need to stick with that. And in a lot of ways, it's important to do so. So for me, I've been trying to decide what that is for me or what that means. And I'm at the point right now where I've just been playing with making music that is my sound style, not following rules of a certain genre, not trying to get boxed into it and seeing what comes out. And I'm still actually in the middle of that process. It's been stressful and definitely a little nerve-wracking to decide to take a break from just releasing songs to release them. But I feel like I'm definitely following my heart with it and trying to, discover what's truly me and really make sure that that's what I'm putting out there. So that's been the time off.
Yeah, it must be kind of nerve-wracking as a musician to not have yourself in the public consciousness constantly and releasing singles all the time. But two of your more recent releases, your Standing Man original track and your Galantis In My Head remix, they seem like they were kind of new sonic areas for you. They seem kind of different with their sound than the previous tracks. Is there anything you're doing production-wise on the new tracks to kind of explore new sonic areas?
Yeah, they definitely were moving in more of the direction, I would say, that I am kind of trying to explore in my work. The Galantis track in particular, so I worked with an artist named Vinny on that. We co-produced that track together, and it was so cool working with him. He's super talented. He's actually located out of Denver as well, and his productions are incredible, and just the whole process of working on it with him was awesome. I absolutely learned a lot from him. So I definitely, just in learning from him and also working on that track really harness my sound style a little bit more, I would say, and not necessarily that it will come out in that big room feel, but just in terms of the sounds used, I guess, in that track, definitely is more me, for sure.
That's great to hear. Well, we're kind of wrapping up here, J'adore. Thank you so much for joining me today. I just have one last question for you.
Sure.
Are there any future projects that you want to talk more specifically about, or anything else you want to say to your fans about upcoming shows or singles you're releasing?
Thank you. You know what? I would say please keep watching me, keep with me. There's not a specific single I want to talk about at this point, but know that I am working on my sound, and I'm really excited to deliver that to them. I do feel like in whatever performance my fans see me in, they do have an expectation of my sound style, and I do try to always bring that to my performances, and I feel like I do. So you'll see more of that from me for sure, and I can't wait to get my sound out there.
And how can your fans reach you or connect with you if they want to?
So I'm on Facebook, Twitter is great, Instagram, SoundCloud, every extension, every tag is J'adore Your Life. So it's JADOREURLIFE, and I'm definitely active on all of those socials. So really active with my fans. I love talking to them online. I love absolutely stepping out of the booth after every show and talking to them. So they can always catch me.
That's great to hear, and I'll post all the relevant social media links under the interview as well. So again, J'adore, thank you so much for joining Mix 24/7 EDM. This has been Alex Geis, and it's been an honor to talk with you today.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
We're excited to hear your new music.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait.
All right. Have a good day, J'adore.